yele ya le meri wakeira sugurugu Ogune
I'm Trina McGee, and I am back here on Arzu Mountain Spirit Live. This is a great talk show about all things natural, featuring a very wonderful woman who is a healer. I am here right now, though. My name is Trina McGee, and today we're going to continue our series about hair. Black hair particularly is very, very in style and in talks right now. The reason being is because, like many things that African Americans or people of color are finding out about themselves, they're finding out things about themselves that they just didn't know. And one of the things we didn't know is a lot of us didn't know how to take care of our hair properly. When we were brought over in ships and stripped of everything we knew, we didn't have the proper oils in our back pocket on the slave strips. We didn't have a lot of our rituals, a lot of the things that we did. The hair braiding was all stripped from us. We had to just get to work when we got to America. And over the years, we have been made to feel in many, many ways, we won't get into the political aspects of it now, that I don't know, our hair wasn't good enough. So of course we all know that is untrue, and we're actually, a lot of us are really exploring some really great things about our hair as African women of African descent, especially the kink, the curl, how it just goes right up to the sky the minute you wet it. I mean, it's actually a pretty amazing journey when you think of what our hair is really here for. These are our antennas, as I like to say. Today I want to go a little bit past the beauty aspects of our hair into a world of what I call hair rituals, beyond the aesthetics, and into a land where we're talking about things we did with our hair that represented community, that brought about our identity. Were you married? Were you not married? According to the way your hair was braided or worn. There's so many things that we've left behind about our culture that go way beyond beauty. So again, as I crash onto Arzu Mountain Spirit Show once again, I'm going to bring her out onto her show with a wonderful introduction. Arzu Mountain Spirit, are you there?
I'm over here, Trina. I'm right here. I'm only complete with you, okay? I'm so happy to see you. I've missed you so much. We've been apart for a little while, so I'm so happy to see you. Hugs over to you. I'm very happy to be here. And I love what you're singing.
So glad to see you back.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love you. I love you. I wanted to talk to you today because we were talking about all the ways to keep our hair healthy. But I know you growing up in the Garifuna culture, you were taught some things that went way back from Africa onto the shores of the Garifuna culture, which is situated in the Caribbean.
Right.
And first, I just wanted to ask you, what's your earliest memory of something you did with your hair, or knowingly that you were taught that was a hair ritual? And maybe you can explain to people what a hair ritual really is.
Well, you know us. Yes, our people, we do ceremonialize and ritualize everything. That's how we learn. It's actually a teaching technique. We
Mm.
figure the ritual is easier to teach, it's easier to remember. But as far as hair, what really stands out in my mind is the saving of our hair. In our household, our hair was treated like gold. You know, if it
Wow.
came out in your comb and your brush, then you collected it. And everyone had a little tin. Back then, well, they're mint tins, right? But they didn't always have mint because sometimes matches came in tin. So everybody had a little tin in their room, and we would all keep our hair in there. And every once in a while, not every full moon, but when my grandmother would say, on the next moon, we're going to plant our hair. So all
Oh
of us
wow.
would take our hairball on that full moon and we would go out in the night. It would be bright because the moon will be out. And we would dig a hole near a tree or our own little private space. And we would bury our hair with our intentions. And what that did was it would grow our hair because the intention would be how long do we want our hair to grow. But it would also
Okay.
give us healthy hair and beautiful hair. So
Mhm.
none of us, we didn't straighten our hair. That wasn't put into us until we came into the Western space. But yeah, every once in a while, at least once or twice a year, or at least twice a year, we would
Mhm.
plant
Mhm.
our hair on a full moon so it could grow. Thank you for
Wow.
asking. Yeah.
Did you see results from that for what you
Oh,
wished for your hair to
oh
be?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Because to us, our hair is good hair. We have
Yeah.
what you call big hair. So
Ah.
all the women in my family, my entire lineage, everybody has big hair. The only admonition we ever had was to not straighten our hair. Of course, you know, we came into the West, we were teenagers, we wanted to do what everybody else wanted to do. But it was in violating that admonition that
Mhm.
we started to lose our hair. But all my sisters
Yeah.
who have gone natural, everybody got their hair back. Everybody got their
Wow.
hair back. Yeah.
Wow.
So you
Okay.
can grow your hair.
Oh yeah. I think the myth about African American hair not growing is so silly. It's not that hair doesn't grow. It's just that the way that a lot of the tools that we have for it promote dryness, and the shampoos and conditioners on the regular market before they
Yeah.
got all this influx of products that were just for us really did make it dry hair out and break off the ends,
And the mindset, right? That it's a
and it's the
hassle, that it's a
mindset.
burden, that it's not good. You know, all of those things. You wouldn't
That's one of my
grow
biggest,
either.
yeah, that's one of my biggest pet peeves about the whole wokeness of hair right now is just anything, they have a thing called protective styles. Okay, have you heard
Mhm.
this term?
Yeah.
Protective styles. I don't, I have every protective style that I've ever tried to wear has taken out my hair. If I put in braids or those usually take out my hair, or even a tight ponytail takes out my hair. Your hair doesn't need to be protected from anything. And I think a lot of times when we add hair in, any way that I've ever put in a weave into my hair, it has just taken it out. There's no good way that it ever works for me. So I just think we get into this thing of protective styles, but what are we protecting ourselves from, really?
From ourselves, right? And here we are carrying it in our own head. But again, I still think it begins with an attitude of gratitude because even just the lunar ceremony, right? The moon ceremony with us,
Yeah.
Arizona, but the Chad, in Chad, there is a
Hmm.
tribe there. I cannot remember their name. It's Arabs, desert people, black people,
Okay.
where the women grow their hair way down to their waist, and they have a ritual that they do twice a week. But it's always an older woman working on a younger woman. But the magic of that ritual is not so much the plants that they use; they are magical. It's the love that this older
Mm.
woman is nurturing that hair with. And
Yes.
they make it into where all the women come together and everybody's doing the same thing. Everyone is doing somebody else's hair. Doing each other's
Wow.
hair is a ritual. It's been made into a comical thing with our people. but
Yes.
really it's a ritual. It's a ceremony,
Oh, wow.
and
So
that's
when
how
you
we grew up here.
so when you see like movies from the '90s or Baby Boy or something, somebody's cornrolling someone's hair, and we think this is this cute little ghetto thing. That's actual.
No,
Excuse me. That's
that's
actually an African traditional
ancestral.
ancestral ritual that we just naturally do.
Yeah.
That's been brought here. That's
And
amazing.
and like you said earlier, it's building community. Everybody got something different, right? How they build community. We build community by doing each other's hair. That's why those movies are so big. Beauty shop, barbershop. Those are community building places, not bars and clubs, but it's places where we did things and took care of each other because we were Black, because it was
Exactly.
our common denominator is that super curly hair.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
it's such a beautiful way of us cheering each other on. I've heard many women say, who are into wearing their natural hair now, that one of the things that really gave them courage to keep going was the cheering on of another woman saying, "Your hair looks really good today. I love your afro today.
Yeah.
That's really good." And then after a while, they felt confident. Hey, I can wear this at work, or I can wear.
Yeah.
I don't have to always go with the status quo of what's going on. Wow, that's amazing. Now, Chad, you were talking about Chad having a hair ritual. Are there any other countries you can think of that you can tell us about that have some amazing hair rituals?
Well, I did write it down. It's called the Basara Arabs. That's what they call them. What they call themselves is something different. But they use this croton, and croton grows everywhere. The seeds from this croton plant. Yeah, it's a croton gratissimus. It's called, but it's the seeds that they use. It's a plant, and they use the seeds, make them into a powder, and then they mix this powder with well, they wipe the hair with either shea butter or some kind of butter or an oil, usually has essence in it. And then they sprinkle the powder onto the hair. So they'll take a strand of hair, right? Comb it, put oil on it or butter, and then sprinkle the powder, and then put more oil. And it's just this constant rubbing. And then they would rebraid the hair. And this is how they keep their hair. And when you're talking about status and signals that so the front part here, there's usually 2 braids put on the side, and I believe those are the single women, and then there's the two tiny braids that go in the parts, and it's supposed to be for married women. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody can write in and tell me, but from what I remember, I'm an old lady, I can forget.
I'm sure it will. But you know what? That's such an amazing point. It's so, people really sometimes give Black women a hard time because they seem a little obsessed about their hair. But at the same time, it is so much more a part of us than just a hairstyle. You know, it has to do with our status in our community, and how we are perceived. I mean, it's just everything. And I think it's okay to give us permission to indulge what's probably something we've all indulged in, right?
Yeah. I think we have a right to be emotional and feel some kind of way about our hair. Our hair is not regular hair, it's you can say super curly. I think it's super special. Our hair is super special. That's what it is.
Yes. Actually, I was reading something also about when some women were slaves, when we were slaves, sometimes there were messages braided into hair before you went into the Underground Railroad. They would actually braid rice into women's hair,
yes,
and send messages to each other through that.
Well,
that's pretty deep.
Well, I hope we don't have to do it again, because now they're gonna know where to search us. But our hair played a role in agriculture as well. When we'd be moved from plantation to plantation. We would braid seeds into our hair, and so when we got to especially food crops, because you weren't really encouraged to grow your own food, but you could take cucumber seeds, tomato seeds, okra, different kind of seeds, and braid them in our hair. And when you get to your new place, all you have to do is take your hair out and comb it. You're not really going out planting. The master really can't see that you're doing anything untowardly. You're just combing your hair. So our hair has served us well. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty incredible. Whoa. So, what would you say is the number one thing you could do to gain hair confidence? If you're a person who's used to wearing weaves, or if you're a person who's used to just putting on a wig, is there anything you could say to that person that might give them more confidence? Everybody's got something different going on up in their head, okay? So I'm not making anybody feel bad about anything they want to do with their hair one way or the other. But I
Interesting.
As a person, for me personally, who has worn a lot of wigs and weaves over my acting career and just one day said no, I do know that there is a psychology to it. I can't deny that it is part of my own, I can't speak for anyone else, my own psychological freedom as a Black woman to just walk around and wear my hair. And I know so many other Black women feel this way. Well, is there anything you could say to us to keep us going?
You know, I just had a similar conversation with my sister who kept using the word alopecia because that's what they told her she had. The first thing is to just throw that word out. Okay, it's your hair. It's what you have left. What I suggested to her from the bottom of my heart is touch your scalp a lot.
Yes.
The energy that oozes out of your fingers, because you are who you are, because you're a melanated person, you have energy that oozes out of your fingers. Put that into your scalp, put that into your hair. It really connects you with yourself. And as you're touching it, you're going to feel your hair growing. It's going to come back.
Wow.
And I also encourage her, go ahead and comb your hair, and whatever little hairs do come out, because she stopped combing it because she'd get upset when it fell out. Whatever hairs fall out, even if you're struggling with alopecia, take them and bury them on the full moon. Still follow through with the ancestral ritual. Bury your hair. Return it to the earth, as we would say, because we don't really have a word for burial. Our word is return to the earth.
Return to
return your hair to the earth. Yes.
Is there a good place like you should return it to the earth, like a special tree or something?
A tree, yeah. Trees are nice. Big, strong trees. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's incredible. So, what do you think about people who might cut off someone's hair to manipulate a situation? Like, I want this guy to like me, so I'm going to cut off some of his afro.
Well, you know, easy come, easy goes. And that's actually quite dangerous. There's another practice where people are buying other people's locks, where people will cut off their locks and then buy them. But also there's a practice, I have friends who are in the funeral business. They cut off locks from people, from corpses, and they're actually sold. I mean, they don't sell them, but the family takes them, but they reuse them. There was a woman who took the locks of her partner and had them sewn into her hair. Now, a few months later, she was diagnosed with a brain tumor, which is really odd. It freaked everyone out. Come to find out, that's what her partner had died from.
Oh!
So,
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying.
No, you really can take on the spiritual aspects of when you're wearing another human's hair. Wow.
Yeah,
so
and
if I'm buying hair from like Malaysia, that's actually a human's hair, and I'm sticking it on my head or intertwining it on my hair, I'm actually putting some of the spirit of that person's hair on my head.
Yeah, you can't wash the suffering of a human being out of a hair. And that's why we have another practice among our people where when someone dies, like if we go through a traumatic death with someone, maybe I'm a soul survivor, we would cut off part of our hair. And the logic supposedly is to cut off some of that memory. To take that off. But that's how much cellular memory the hair is known for keeping. So let's say it's not your hair and it's not your memory, but it's still in there. It's still a living thing. You don't know what kind of power that person who had that hair had.
That's right.
It depends on the person, but it's better to just not have another human's hair on your head, I think.
Yeah.
That's my opinion, nation.
I've always had this odd idea for a script. I shouldn't. Someone else will probably do it, but or I think that was done where someone gets a weave and then they start acting crazy because the weave made them do it.
There's a lot of truth in that. I don't know about other folks, but I know about our folks, our melanated folks. We're very sensitive that way spiritually. We're extremely spiritually sensitive. So us especially, I think we need to take heed with that. Other people hear things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you, this has been very enlightening, Arzu Mountain Spirit. I learned that I should touch my hair. I should heal myself. I should say I love you. Don't get upset if something goes wrong. Show myself love. And I should and when I clip my hair on the full moon, I should bury it, and with intentions of more illustrious hair.
Yes.
And don't be manipulative in any hair rituals because that's weird and wrong.
It's not good.
Gotcha.
That's not how you use your magic. Use it for better. Use it for good. Yeah.
Well, that's why we come to you, because we have this magic and I know you know how to use it. I know you know how to use it for good. And I love you so much. Thank you so much again for teaching me.
Thank you, Trina. I'll see you soon.
See you soon. I can't wait to talk again.